hold your applause till all the facts are in.
High-star person.
You look like a test pattern for an obscene television channel.
No,
that's new, isn't it?
You like this?
Like is not the word.
I feel like I'm going to a silly lumberjacks convention.
Yes, I know. Well, let's see. Let's get to the news. There's nothing funnier than what's going on in the news. They said there weren't going to be any more bombshells from Washington, right? And there seems to be some more problems with the tape. Minor little problems. But I think it's time we got off the president's back. I think everybody's entitled to make 5 to 9 mistakes in a row. I mean, what's all the fuss about? The tape was accidentally erased 9 times. Could happen. It's like Germany accidentally invaded Poland twice. You know, it could happen. I want to tell you, let me put it this way. We got about as much chance of finding out what's on those tapes as we do of seeing Howard Hughes guest starring on Celebrity Bowling. All I can think of, if you remember this old joke that goes back 15 or 20 years about the guy that was arrested for stabbing the man in the street. And that guy says, he came around the corner and ran into my knife. 27 times. Backwards. It's a weird thing. Someone is in trouble. Now, as I understand it, I'm just reporting the news, you understand. Only 3 persons had access to that particular tape. Rosemary Woods, so she could be in trouble. Stephen Bull, so he could be in trouble. President Nixon, so Rosemary Wood and Stephen Bull could be in trouble. Senator Baker came up with an interesting statement. Did you see that? He said this potentially could be damaging to the president. It's like you're falling out of an airplane at 30,000 feet and the ground could be potentially dangerous. Well, I don't know what's going on. Does anybody follow that at all? The whole thing is getting so incredible now, you just have to sort it out. Hello, Tom. Tommy posed for that thing they sent out on Pioneer 10. Remember the etching they have with the man from space where they stand like this? How are you, Tom?
Very well.
Nice to see you. Tommy is, you may have noticed, but Tommy has that certain nothing. I kid Tom, but he's a little dull. Let me give you an idea. The other night, he watched the Waltons, and the Waltons fell asleep. Isn't there any good news around in the world? You housewives will be excited to know, guess what's going up? The price in this country, very quickly. The price of meat. Meat is going up again, tremendously. Something's going crazy here. First gas went up, now meat. They finally got us. How do you siphon a steer? The wilderness societies, you know, they were fighting with the government, I guess, to win concessions on that Alaskan pipeline, and they finally given up. They're going to build a pipeline. They did get the oil companies to agree to one thing. They're going to spend $100 million so as not to go through Ewell Gibbons. Yeah. That's not much of a joke, but if I'm not near the joke I love the joke I'm near. So, doesn't make any difference. What else is happening? John Wayne is in the news. You see that in the paper? I admire what he did. He had an invitation from the Harvard students, the Harvard Lampoon, which is a satirical magazine, to come back and visit the campus. And I didn't think he'd take them up on it, because they've been blasting him pretty good, you know, as being very, you know, his political views. And he went back there and took them on and came out pretty well. Did you see it in the paper? He came through the streets in an armored personnel carrier with guys from the 5th Army or something like that on it. The only reason he did that because his tank was in a repair shop, or he would have... And there were some Indian protesters along the parade route, and just from force of habit. You're ahead of me, right? John Wayne had all the students form a circle real fast, did you know? Well, tonight, this is going to be an interesting show. How many of you have seen The Exorcist, the motion picture? All right, we have the author of that book and the producer of the film. William Peter Blatty is here tonight. And if you couldn't figure out what that picture was about, Mr. Blatty will explain what it was about. He also said he's going to stay after the show and drive the evil spirits out of the studio. Did you see Mr. Blatty in line? He was the one sprinkling holy water out in the... He is here tonight. We have Mr. Fernando Lamas. We have a very funny gentleman. Richard Pryor is here. We have a new young lady on the show tonight. This is her first appearance on the show. I have not met her. A lovely young actress. Her name is Robyn Hilton. And she's going to join us tonight. The staff has met her. Pretty girl. Pretty girl. Oh, okay. Yeah, where'd Doc go? What is his jacket molting already or something? Thank you for coming. We'll be with you in just one... Thank you. We'll be back. Here is Doc now with a word about Alpo. Oh, we have a new mural back of the band there?
New backdrop.
Yeah, how about that? What happens? Is that turned too?
Yes.
What happens when we turn it?
You see something different.
Oh. And it turns again for... Oh. And it turns again and says goodbye. More to come, we are gone.
But I miss the guys.
Who does that, the job?
John Shrum.
Does John Shrum and the people from our prop and art department do that? Very nice.
But I miss the picture of the guy that they used to have up there.
Well, that was a little, I thought. You know, ego was too big a picture.
No, that's not true either.
They didn't tell me they were going to change it.
I understand John is not with us anymore.
Don't say that. Tommy Newsom is going to do something this coming, well, not this coming weekend, but the weekend following this weekend. Tommy Newsom is giving a concert and a clinic. And after his concert, you'll have to go to a clinic. No, at the University of Wisconsin in Green Bay on the 26th of January.
Great.
How about that, Tom? Now, I understand the concert part, right? You play and so forth. What's the clinic? What do you do in the clinic?
Well, they hope to have it cleared up in 2 or 3 days.
I know that. See, the people might be interested. I'm asking a legitimate question.
Can't get a straight answer out of it.
But you sit with the students and talk about music and technique and so forth as in a clinic?
I've never been to one before either.
Students are certainly in for a wonderful... What would he do? What would he do at a clinic now?
No, he'll get up and he'll lecture on whatever subject that he chooses at that moment. Probably he'll lecture on what does Johnny Carson really like.
No, come on now. Clinic is...
No, a clinic is...
Eddie Shaughnessy goes and has clinics with the drummers, and they sit around
Eddie would get up and talk about drums. I would get up and talk about trumpet playing.
Good.
Tommy would get up and talk about dullness. No, you know that we kid Tommy a lot about.
Well, he certainly deserves it.
No, that's
Actually, I'm going to talk about how to find peace through death.
And Tommy has gone through all of that, so he knows. This is really a reincarnation here. Find peace through death. Anyway, they talk about his instrument, right, and so forth.
Oh yes, he's going to do that, all right. In the motel.
Oh, come on now. Man's trying to conduct a serious show and pass on some knowledge to our viewers, and you two clowns...
Where's this guy?
Sit here. Okay, anyway, he's going to be back in Green Bay, which is probably lovely there this time of year. Oh. Why couldn't you get a clinic in Florida or someplace, or Palm Springs? You got to go to Green Bay.
I'm going to Florida in July.
That makes sense. Makes sense. The September clinic at Chlorthan, Death Valley, that he walks across. He and 30 musicians try to walk across Death Valley.
You know, as much as we kid Tommy,
yes,
he writes really some of the most colorful and passionate music that we have in our possession.
That's true. Tommy does a lot of the charts for the orchestra.
Yeah.
And that in itself is
really great music.
Unique talent. He should have been put away years ago. Okay, I've got some odds and ends here. You get these things in the mail at home. Somehow in this country, you get on mailing lists. You know, there are companies who sell your name and address to all kinds of companies around the country, and you get on a mailing list where they send you the contest gimmick that's going on, the various companies. You could be a grand sweepstakes winner. Do you get those all the time? In your mailbox, dear Mr. and Mrs. Clarn, you are lucky you. You are one of the sweepstakes winners. Mail this certificate in and so forth. A gentleman sent me one that he had entered a contest. His name is Walter Wolanska, Wolanska, I believe. And he entered, and he got a letter from the Reader's Digest. And he was notified that he was a sweepstakes winner. Remember that? It's always a sweepstakes winner. And his check was in the mail. He sent me the check. I want to show you. First of all, I got his name. Can we get a close-up? First of all, they sent it to Mr. Wolanski instead of Wolensky. Misspelled his name. He lives in Lindenhurst, New York, and here is his wonderful sweepstakes winner. $0.10. True, now I'm not making this up. He got a 10-cent check as one of the sweepstakes winners. Isn't that a lovely contest? Had to buy the magazine. What's the magazine sell for? Half a buck? Then 8 cents postage? He lost 48 cents on that deal. Isn't that something? I guess, he's a winner. He's got the check here. Now, I don't know what to do with the check. Here's an item here. You know, if you think you got an energy crisis here, London and countries, England and Holland really have got countries, got problems. Of course they have countries. It's a picture of the girls that work over there in the, what's the club? Well, they're strippers. And they've turned down the heat. And these girls have to dress and make up by candlelight. It's the only heat they have and they're catching colds and goose pimples, and it's a terrible situation over there. This is sad, isn't it?
Yes, it is. That certainly is.
Patrons are yelling, "Don't give your coal to Contact, give it to me." That's direct from there. This is the silliest item I have seen in a long time. From England, Halifax, England. Sisters Tina and Tracy O'Brien, aged 3 and 4, left the hospital yesterday after recovering from New Year's hangovers. 3 and 4 years old. They had drunk a bottle of liqueur and some other alcoholic beverages. They apparently got 3 and 4 years old, and they got stoned. And they went to the hospital. Can you imagine a 3 and 4 year old with a hangover? How do you sober them up? They're too young to drink coffee. Right? 3 and 4 years old, and they got bombed.
Put them in the Ed McMahon ward, right?
Yes. Let's see, drinks. What do you think the woman's name is? The president of the Women's Christian Temperance Union in this country is. Liquor dealers admit that since the energy crisis began, the consumption of alcoholic beverages has greatly increased. Her name is Mrs. Fred Tooze. Tooze. I don't know why that's funny. It's so, Mrs. Tooze drinks no booze. I mean, the whole thing is. Isn't that wonderful? Mrs. Tooze. It said, T for Tooze and Tooze for... Oh, you can do all kinds of things.
Any rhymes to that?
Yes, there are.
And words we didn't use.
You're in a terrible mood tonight. Did you know that the Coast Guards, men and women, now share the same bathrooms? They had a problem. They took women in the Coast Guard. They took women into the Coast Guard, and they said it required too much money to build as they say in the Navy, it's the head, right? So now they share the same bathrooms in our... What are you giggling at? You thought of something terrible again.
Yeah, I just saw the sign on the door. His and Ms.
You're on something tonight. That's crazy. All I can see is a captain walking in, somebody saying, "Tangent." Do you know what filler items are in newspapers, what they call fillers? Mm-hmm. These are little items that they use to fill out a column when they don't have anything else. This must have been the slowest news day ever. I don't even know what paper it's from. This is what they call a filler item. The Jan Smuts Airport has been ranked, from Africa, Johannesburg, Africa, has been ranked as the world's 35th busiest. Do I lie? Now, would you say it's a slow news day? Has been ranked as the world's 35th busiest airport. That little gem was sitting there. I got the 3rd fattest dog in my block. What is... I don't understand this. Has 52,000 takeoffs and landings and served 2 million passengers. It's only the world's 35th. Isn't that interesting? 34th is a wheat field in Topeka, I think. What else we got here? These are just some crazy things.
You know,
but I love the sweepstakes. I got one the other day where they actually had my name printed in. Have you seen those? Where they send to your house and says, wouldn't you like to see your name here? And then they printed your name and address in where it says, Grand Sweepstakes winner. They offered me one last week to win the dream house of my choice. Have you seen that one? They put your name in. You can win the dream house of my choice.
Have you ever, by accident, gotten on one of those mailing lists for obscene items?
Not by accident.
No, I mean, really.
No, I didn't make no accident about that at all. I said send it right here. No. Yes, I've received some things in the mail
That's
that I did
embarrassing.
not request. And you open them up, and that's wrong. And the first thing you should do is go right to the Postmaster General or write the company and say immediately advise them that you want your name taken off of any kind of mailing list. You have a right to do that, you know. If you receive this stuff in the mail that is unsolicited, you simply write back and say, right now, get my name off that mailing list.
That's right. I mean, how many sets of whips can you use?
What list did you get on? I got on the Crazy Foam and, no, they do. They do send all that stuff because there are businesses in this country who do nothing but make up lists and sell them to other businesses. So you could be on a mailing list and not ask for any of these. The best thing to do. Also, you do not have to pay for anything, you know, that comes to your home, unsolicited. You can keep it. You don't even have to return it.
Well, you got to pay for those whips.
Would you get off with those? You're in a freaky mood tonight. But, you know, sometimes they will send you something in the mail and then ask you to pay for it. You do not have to return it, nor do you have to pay for it if you get it unsolicited. But the best thing to do is write the company and get off the list. Because there's a lot of that mail. We'll get in trouble now. We'll hear from all the mail order people tomorrow saying, we make a living doing this. What was I going to say? Oh, we have on the show Fernando Lamas.
Good.
William Peter Blatty, the writer and producer of The Exorcist. We also have Richard Pryor, and we have the young lady who will join us in a moment by the name of Robyn Hilton.
Oh, yes.
I have not. You must have seen her.
I have seen Robyn Hilton.
I have not seen her. They say she's a pretty young lady.
This is a lady for sure.
And I want you to treat her with dignity. We'll be right back after a word from one of our sponsors. Yes, we will. We've returned. My first guest this evening is the young lady we were just talking about. She's a young actress. Her name is Robyn Hilton. And this is her first appearance. She is going to be in Mel Brooks' new film that he is working on, which is crazy. From what I read once, it's called Blazing Saddles. That'll give you an idea of Mel's mind. Would you welcome Robyn Hilton? How are you, Robyn? It's nice to meet you. And everything that they have said about you is true. You're a lovely-looking young girl.
Thank you.
Yeah. You've done television before, not our show, but I mean,
yes.
You've been on other shows.
Yes, no talk shows.
Not any of the talk shows? Well, you've done, the Situation, what have you done? What do we might have seen you in?
Let's see, Police Story.
Police Story?
Temperatures Rising.
Yeah.
I haven't done a lot of television.
Yeah. Where are you from?
Originally?
Yeah.
Twin Falls, Idaho. Is there somebody there from Twin Falls?
Figures. I guess. That's nice country back there. It really is. That is beautiful country. A small town?
Yeah, it's the third largest city in Idaho, which doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
I'm from a farm, actually. I'm not from the town.
Yeah. How long have you been in California?
About 2 years.
Yeah? What made a girl from Idaho to decide to come to California?
Oh, to be a movie star.
Really?
Right.
Did you enter beauty contests and things like that back there?
No, I didn't. I don't believe in contests.
Really?
Right.
That's what most girls do. They go into a local beauty contest and somebody says, why don't you go to Hollywood? And...
Right. No, I decided when I was 3 years old to become an actress.
Really?
Right. I decided I'd be a star.
Why? Who did you admire? Would you go to movies when you were young?
Oh, yes, yes. I would say, before my time, I'd say Carol Lombard was super fantastic.
Carol Lombard, yeah.
Right. Clark Gable. Oh, he's
Clark Gable.
Right.
How about the current people? Don't you, any of the current young stars intrigue you?
Neil Diamond.
Neil Diamond?
Right.
Yeah.
That's it.
Doc, you've fallen quiet over there.
No, I seem to have lost my Congressional Medal of Honor.
Never. And stealing from Jackie Vernon, I might add, at the same time, also.
Well, you take them where you find them.
Yeah.
Can I help you look for it?
No, please don't. Please don't. No, if you do, Celebrity Bowling will be in here tomorrow. And you'll get to see Howard Hughes.
Howard Hughes is...
I think I know where they went to. Where it went.
Don't mind him. He is very easily disturbed.
No, it's okay.
Yeah. What did your folks do?
My folks?
Your parents?
Yes, my parents. My father is an experimental engineer. He was a farmer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you ever live on a farm?
Oh, yes. I was raised on a farm.
Really?
Oh, yes.
When you tell people that, they got to say, oh, come on, right? Because you don't
No,
look like
I
the
was.
typical farm girl.
No, I did. That's, yes, I was raised on a farm. And it's true what they say about haystacks.
Yeah?
Yes. And the farmer's daughter.
Yeah, you've
That's
probably
where
heard all those
come
jokes,
from.
right?
Yes, I have. Most of them are true.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, somebody told me you don't drink.
No, I
you
don't.
don't smoke.
No, I don't.
Is that just personal beliefs that it's bad for you? And
No, I do other things.
we have to take a break. Can we come back and talk a while?
Oh, I'd love to.
Or throw a couple of frisbees or something? We're going to be right back after this word from Gentle Excedrin PM. It's the pain reliever that helps you get a good night's sleep. We'll return now. We disappear once in a while for commercials and stuff. If you just join us, this young lady's name is Robyn Hilton from Twin Falls, Idaho, who grew up on a farm and came out here to become a movie star and is now working. Have you finished the movie yet with Mel Brooks?
Oh, yes, we
called
finished
Blazing
it a long time
Saddles.
ago.
I read this. He sent that script to me once to read. It was called Black Bart at that time.
It was.
And they changed it to Blazing Saddles.
Yes, they decided that Black Bart sounded too much like a black movie.
Yeah.
Which, you know.
It's a crazy, insane script.
totally
I remember
insane.
reading it, and it was just nutty.
It is. Well, Mel Brooks is totally insane. I mean,
Yeah.
incredible man. Incredible to work with.
Yeah.
Very funny. I play Miss Stein.
Miss who?
Miss Stein.
Miss Stein.
Right, his secretary, who doesn't type and doesn't take shorthand, but has other redeeming attributes.
That's good old Mel.
Right.
How did you meet him now? Did you meet him through something else you had done, or did
No,
you have
no,
to go
no.
audition, or?
Yes, I did. I just walked in and he says, you're Miss Stein. It was really insane.
You just walked in the door and Mel just made his decision like that.
Right, it was very fast. Before I knew it, I was up in wardrobe.
Before you knew it, you were up in wardrobe.
Right.
Good old Mel. He has an eye for casting.
Yeah, he
really
does.
does.
It's very good.
But he didn't hear you read any lines, or?
I read 2 lines.
2 lines.
Yes.
Cool. What were I don't know whether I want to ask you what those lines
No.
were. Like, where is wardrobe and how are you, Mel?
Right, that was just about. Anyway, the wardrobe. I don't have very much wardrobe in it. You know, I wear sort of a little nighty kind of thing. I think they call them corsets. That was the name. Yes.
Yes, they used to have corsets.
Right, and sort of a misty lilac, and I wear about 5-inch heels, so that he hits me just about here. And he's very short. He's very, very tiny little man with incredible energy. Always running around.
Yeah, he does. Lots of energy.
Yes, he's like he's everywhere all at once.
That's Mel. Everywhere at once. Excuse me, these short naps help me. I'm getting. As I get older, sometimes I tend to fall into my food, and.
You meditating?
Yeah, I do meditate. You meditate?
That's very good. No,
Oh,
but it's good for you.
yeah. Somebody told me you're an astrology buff or not? Or-
Well, I'm into astrology, numerology, handwriting, all of those things. You're a Scorpio.
I am a Scorpio. That is
Yes.
true.
Very dynamic sign, very lethal. Most of our presidents have been Scorpio. Very. Well,
I think that's a compliment. Really, I didn't know that.
Yes, they're very sexy people.
Well, I hear that, but how can you tell? Do you think really it makes any difference when you were born, whether you're going to be sexy? I mean, it just turned out this way. I could have been...
No, I think it definitely does. They're very strong people. Very much like to get ahead. They like to have the last word. Stubborn.
Yeah, I hear that all the time about they're stubborn people. What sign are you?
I'm a moon child.
A moon child.
Yeah.
How sweet it is.
Very sensitive.
They used to be called Cancer, didn't it not?
Yes.
They changed it to moon child, I guess.
Moon child. Sounds more romantic.
Yeah, what's with moon child?
Cancer's got to turn you off.
Yeah.
Right.
How about moon child? What is...
Moon children, that's your best sign, you know.
It's your best sign?
No, your sign. Scorpios like moon children. It's
oh, I see. I see.
Kind.
It's good for me to be involved with a moon child.
Yes, that's one of your better signs.
What, you're raising your hand? You want to leave the room or what, Doc?
No, in case she doesn't interest you, I'm a moon child.
Well, that's interesting. And you go for numerology and all of that stuff, huh?
Right, I believe in reincarnation.
You believe in reincarnation?
Yes, I do.
You believe you've lived before? Mm-hmm. Do you have any idea what you were before when you were here? Well, lots of people do. They say, oh, I was here as Aristotle. I was here as, Queen Nefertiti.
Oh, no, I don't think. I know I've always been female.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm sure.
Well, no argument here. What would you like to come back? If you had a choice, and you could come back as somebody else in your next life, would you choose yourself or would you prefer to be somebody else?
Oh, no, I like being myself.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. Would you choose someone else?
I think it might be nice to give somebody else a shot and come back as somebody else.
Like who?
Oh, like my wife's first husband?
Why?
Well, I don't know. It just occurred to me. I meant that as a compliment, you see. I meant that as a compliment. No, I'd like to come back as a woman once.
A woman?
I really would.
Why?
Just to see what it would be like. No, I think every person would like to be of the opposite sex at one time or another, to feel emotionally and physically what the makeup is like to be of the opposite sex. Wouldn't you like to know what it's like to be a man at certain moments?
No, I like being a woman.
Yeah, that's what I want to find out.
No, I like being a woman. I want to be a woman every lifetime. It's very pleasant.
Yeah, I'll take your word for it. Somebody said you've been offered to do a layout in Playboy magazine, and you have elected not to do it, right?
Yes, right.
Well, now, lots of young ladies would think that would be a fine opportunity.
No, they offered me 10. They didn't. I held out for $11.50, but you know.
$11.50?
No. I think that I think being partially undressed or partially is much sexier than total nudity. I think sex is an imaginary thing anyway. It's totally in the mind. And I think it's much more fun to undress someone than have them undressed.
I think that's the fun of Christmas, is opening the presents. You know? But I think that's very good philosophy on your part. But they offer you a lot of money, don't they, to do something like that? Or used to be.
Yes, they do. They do a lot of money. I'm not materialistic.
Yeah. In other words, they'd offer you $5,000. Would they offer you that much?
Yes, they do.
They did?
Yes, they offered more than that, finally.
Well, if I'm not being personal, do you mind telling how much they?
They go up to around 10, you know. I'm still holding out for $11.50.
$11,000.
No, I really,
I'd Indian wrestle Virginia Graham naked in Macy's window. No, I wouldn't either. No. I don't know why that came up. No, I think that's good. It might not help your career at all, actually.
No, I don't think it would. I'm doing just fine.
Yeah. Now, what are you doing now? You finished the movie?
Yes, I just did another movie, and then I'm doing the series Doc Savage that's coming up February, sometime in February.
Yeah. Well, it's nice to have you here tonight.
Thank you.
Are you all calmed down now? You said
Yes,
you were a little
I am.
nervous between
I
commercials.
was.
Wasn't this easy?
It was very easy.
What's that fun?
Oh, it was fun.
Excitement. All right. We'll, you know, I did that once, didn't I? Headaches.
Not
Are you nervous?
What?
Are you nervous?
No.
Oh, God.
We'll return after this word from Formula 44. My next guest is a good friend and a fine actor and a director. Just started a movie that he wrote and will direct called Scavenger. You said you'd never met him, right?
No, I haven't. I'm really excited.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Would you welcome... Were you excited to meet me? I mean...
Oh, of course.
Oh, wow. Just want to find out. Would you welcome Fernando Lamas? Robyn, you can come back on this end of the couch.
She gets up and everything. I didn't know she could, yes. You're a very lovely lady.
Thank you.
Which inclines me to believe that the glandular system is the most important system in the entire body. Because anybody can have a couple of legs, you know.
Can't we ever get this discussion on a high plane with you?
That's a very high plane.
That's a very high plane.
Yes.
I'll just sat here and do the straight lines for
The
you.
lady does not recognize the law of gravity. It's unbelievable. You're a very beautiful lady, and not only that, you're warm and tender and intelligent.
My God.
I was listening to you backstage.
Oh, you were.
Yes, and of course you fluster these two gentlemen to no end. I really don't know why.
You Latins are always, you pour on the accent.
Look at my hand.
Look at
But
yours.
my hand is trembling.
You see, guys with accents always have an advantage.
It helps a little bit.
Don't they? Because the average woman thinks if a fella has an accent, whether it's French or Spanish or whatever, is somehow mysterious and has more emotional qualities within him. That's true.
It helps when they do not understand you, you know. Right.
Never
Because
thought
you
of
can
that.
always say, I didn't say it.
I didn't mean that.
I didn't mean it that way. It just came out that way.
Well, now
Like, how about it?
you're so smooth, are you?
Yes, yeah.
But don't you find that with women also?
Definitely.
That if a woman has an accent, that men somehow get a little bit awed because they think she is mysterious. That's not only true, is it?
Most of the time, they're just dull. You know, have you noticed that the mysterious people are generally mysterious because they have nothing to say? And I think it's a marvelous way out. You stay in a corner, mysterious, serious. People are very interesting men. Just dumb. Nothing to say.
That could
Grow a
be true.
mustache like this and stay very serious. Maybe a patch in the eye. People say he's really something.
Yeah, those little
Nothing.
mysterious things. It's not a bad idea.
Let's try it one of these days.
Who would you like to meet in Hollywood you haven't met, Robyn? I mean,
I'd like to meet her.
I know, no, I'm not talking
Oh, I
about you,
see.
outside of you and
Neil Diamond.
Neil Diamond.
Yes.
You're very big with Neil Diamond lately.
I am.
Yes.
You got a thing about him?
Yeah, I have a thing about him.
You do. What thing do you have about him?
It's purely physical.
Purely physical.
Yeah.
That's the only way it should be. To begin with, you know.
Yes.
Then it might evolve into something spiritual. Then you drop it.
I always try to get a different, deeper relationship at first.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Isn't that longer?
Yes, but
It takes longer, right?
well, certainly.
Or what happens if when the moment of truth comes and she says, that's why you worked so hard for all these weeks? Now what? It's better to go right to the moment of truth then, first. If that works, then the rest is easy. But that anxiety of waiting and waiting and waiting if it's going to be good, that's bad.
You know, I always feel like I'm at a boys' school when you're here, and I've just gone in and you're giving me a...
No.
Yeah.
It's just a different technique. I'm sure yours is just as good as mine, but it's different.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you used to have, we talked about this one night during a commercial, you used to have a very violent temper. And
Yes.
you said you've got it under control in the past few
I
years.
got it more or less under control.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you ever met anybody who's got a worse temper than you have? Say?
Oh, many people,
Yeah.
especially ladies.
Yeah.
Many. But it's difficult to fight with ladies
Yeah.
because they give you a slap across the face, and if you slap them back, you're a brute. If you don't slap them back, you're an idiot. So you got to slap him back, because how could you go through all your life being given things without returning them? It makes you selfish.
Don't they do that in some countries? The men physically
Oh, yeah.
whack them?
Definitely.
Would you wish a man to slap you?
No, I don't like violence.
Of course not.
No,
I don't believe in slapping women. I really don't. Unless they slap you first, you know.
Oh, I see.
Because I feel that when they slap you, it's because they probably want a little bit back.
Really?
Yeah, it's a tension that builds into some things, sometimes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
You're
think.
thinking, eh?
No, I don't think I could really do that.
No. If you got hit first, have you ever
Have I ever?
been hit by a lady?
Well, it wasn't a lady.
It was not a lady.
Well, no, because if she would have been a lady, she wouldn't have slapped me.
Right.
Right?
That's a marvelous way out. Yes, beautiful.
Yes. No, I was a long time ago when my temper was what I didn't control it as well.
You have bad temper too, right?
But I had to learn to control it.
Right. Well, you have to. As you mature and grow older and tire, you know, of a lot of things.
Yeah, age will do it. You just get tired of doing that.
Every time.
What do you do when you get depressed? You always seem to be in a good mood. You never seem to...
No, I don't know, up and down my ways. I get depressed sometimes.
No, what do you do about
I get
it?
frustrated. And, well, before I used to just sit in the chair and say, oh, my God, everything's terrible, and just sulk about it. And, I try to just knock off that negative feeling, incorporating a positive on top of the negative.
Talk to yourself.
Talk to yourself out. Get the hell out of here, you know. Like, what's a devil standing, a little devil standing there. Say, get out of here. Leave me alone. It's raining, so what? It's good for the plants. The potatoes in Idaho are going to be big. How do you do?
Well... Kiss my spuds.
Yes.
Whatever. Spuds are potatoes. Don't people know that? That's what they are.
Right. I don't know why I thought about that.
Yeah. Who would you like to come back if you could come back in another
I
life?
like to be a kangaroo.
You'd like to be a kangaroo?
A kangaroo.
Okay.
A lot of jumping around. Yeah.
No, but if you...
Seriously?
Yes. Who would you like to be?
I haven't thought about that, but no, I was listening to you backstage, and it might be a very good idea to come back as a woman.
Wouldn't you like to know as a man?
Get kind of even. Right, you know. Right, learn all of their ways. You see, women are terribly strong.
Yes.
And interesting, much more than we are. We are little babies.
Women are much more strong, much stronger in a crisis. And when things go wrong, women are much stronger than men.
You know what happened if we had to give birth? Humanity would end in a month. No more kids, forget it.
No.
Oh, it depends, no more. And they go along, they have 10, 12 kids, and they're marvelous, you know.
We used to do a thing on the show talking about if you were in a hospital room.
Yes.
In one room, and somebody had to share the room with you, and it couldn't be a relative or anybody, a blood relative.
Yeah.
Who would you choose if you had to say 6 months now? 6 months? No, you're saying that just as a physical thing.
Oh, okay. Well,
6 months, you're going to be in the room.
Oh, I was
be...
incapacitated. If I were incapacitated, let me choose somebody with a certain spiritual qualities and intelligence, so we can discuss things.
I'm very spiritual.
I know you are. I'm sure you are.
I am.
But you find the strangest things inside of buildings that appear to be something else from the outside. Yeah, definitely. It's true.
I could be very stimulating for longer than 6 months, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you could.
I could.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So whom would you choose?
What kind of person, eh?
Anybody. You can have your choice. But you're 6 months, you're with them alone.
If I can be serious for a second, I really...
It is an interesting
If it's
premise.
serious for a second, okay.
Sure.
Half a second. I would like to be with somebody so highly evolved spiritually that would probably help me go through whatever it was that was keeping me right there in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And I was somebody to discuss the problems of the moment, the fears, the anxieties that would go, obviously, with a situation such as that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would be a man or a woman or dog, I don't know what.
Yeah.
But in that case, yes, something that would answer some of my questions, anxieties, and fears that we all have in situations such as that,
answer.
you know. Now, if I was physically capable of performing, then I wouldn't need that type of baloney.
All of a sudden, that was baloney. It was...
Right, because you see how sweet and how tender everybody is when they think they're dying? And the moment they get well, boom, they for.
So it's just for the moment, huh?
That's it, just for the moment, you know.
I figured you'd say something like that anyway.
Yeah.
We have to interrupt here for a brief moment. We're coming right back. Stay with us.
Okay.
Richard Pryor is with us tonight. He's got a very unusual mind, very inventive. He just completed the movie Uptown Saturday Night, and he'll soon be seen on the Martin Luther King special, which airs on January 24th. Would you welcome the very inventive Richard Pryor? Richard?
Hello? Hope I'm funny? I used to do stuff that was interesting, because I'm from Pryor, Illinois, and it would get kind of dull, and I'd go and hang out with the winos on Sundays, because they knew everybody, you know, especially, they would speak to anyone, you know, Dracula, anybody. Hey, boy, where'd you get that cake? You live around here? Who's your people? Why'd you get them teeth fixed? Blood dripping all out your mouth. Why don't you take care of yourself, boy? Either I'd go to the bars and watch fights. People love to fight when they get drunk. I used to watch them. Especially, they always want to fight Orwell. Orwell was a friend of mine that fought the police. I knew he was bad. Right, because the police will do anything to you, right? You know, they move along, stop having so much fun. Orwell would stop that. Hey, man, don't push me with no stick, Mr. Officer. I'm Orwell, 6'5", weigh 235 pounds. Bring fire out my chest. I know you understand. You understand? Now, why don't you call downtown and ask about me, Orwell? Remember last summer when the 15 police come got that and 4 or 5 of them got messed up? That's me. You mess with me, I'm gonna bite you on the neck. And you always go to bars. When the guys get drunk, they started fighting. Some dudes would really get weird and want to fight women. Right? They always want to fight the women, right? They go, say, man, what you mean we can't have another drink? Well, we done spent money all night, chump. Tell me, don't hold me, man. Give me a drink, baby. Get a beer for the house. 1 beer. Woo! What's wrong with you, ugly woman? Well, ain't nobody messing with you. Turn your face around. I'll knock you. Who are you, chump? I don't care if that's your mama. Wait a minute, baby. You done hit me. Say, man. No, don't hold me, man. Don't let me go. Don't nobody hit me, baby. Don't nobody hit me and get away with it. Well, do something, baby. You done kick me, man. Don't nobody kick me and get away with it, baby. I mean that. Oh, Freddie, please help me. Roll down the window, please. Put it up, it's too much air. Oh, Lord. I'll never do it again, Lord, please. Oh, Lord, please. Don't make me, Lord. There's nothing left to throw up, please. I ain't got nothing left but my manhood, please. Thank you, baby. You my man. I'm gonna get him. Kick me. I'm gonna kill him, baby. Hey, mama. Hey, baby, open the door. It's me. What's happening, baby? What's wrong with you? I know my breath smell bad. I've been outside in the ballroom, baby, trying to defend your honor. You know, what's the matter? Why you mad at me? What was there in the glove compartment? I
I got that from a lady at the store, baby. My shopping bag bust. I asked her to loan me a bra so I could carry the groceries off. That's right. You know I love you, baby. I'm gonna get my clothes off. I'm crazy about you, baby. I want to make love to you tonight, baby. You better believe it.
That's beautiful. Beautiful.
The great things to draw on when you're growing up, right? Because it's all true.
Yes, sir.
Saturday night fights.
Yeah.
The bar. I grew up in the Midwest, in the small Midwestern town. On Saturday night, the kids from the farm, I live in a small town, but the kids from the farm would come in on Saturday night, and no fat on them at all, just one large bone. They would come in, and the sun would hit them, you know, the neck would be all pink here and white from that on down and up to the arms. And it was like they'd hit you with a club. You'd say something, and it'd come back about this far. They were tough on the farm.
I remember farm dudes, we used to have a lot of semi-race riots.
Semi-race?
Yeah, you know, you just fight in your neighborhood, race riot in your neighborhood. Then Monday you go to school and wait till the weekend. But we used to, and it used to be a big hillbilly dude, man, used to walk, and it was Charlie Eggy. He didn't want nobody to walk through. He said, hey, look, man, you walk around the other way, you understand? I'll dust you off. And it was a big farm guy. I said, well, I'm just coming along any kind of way I can, just walking down through here. I said, don't you come down to him. And the cat didn't fall.
Yeah.
And the dude went, my man.
Hey, let's have some fun. How about a drink? Yeah, you give them your best shot, they just stand there and go like that.
Yeah.
Let me interrupt. We'll be after a word, we'll be right back. We're back. My guests are Richard Pryor, Fernando Lamas, and Robyn way down at the end there, Robyn Hilton. What was I going to say to you? Oh, I found out, and I should have known, because I remember when I first talked to Mel Brooks about the picture. You were one of the writers on this Blazing Saddles also.
Yes, it was Black Bart.
Yeah.
I hope they still keep all the stuff in it. I haven't seen
It was one of the most crazy scripts I'd ever read in my life. Absolute nonsense. If it comes off, it can be a very, very funny picture.
Brooks has an extraordinary head for comedy. You know, the man.
Oh, well, so does this man. You know,
He's a genius.
Oh, tremendous. In comedy, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Really.
absolute insanity.
Thank you.
Good to see you again.
Good to sit back.
I understand you were back in Washington working there and were
I did a
big
concert.
smash back there.
Yeah, man, it was the first time I ever did a concert. And I was always scared that people, wouldn't come.
Yeah.
So I've been afraid to do a concert because it's very embarrassing, right, to walk out.
Nobody there.
4 or 5 people.
Yeah, that tends to give you security. Did you have politicians? I mean, people in government?
I don't know. Hope not.
What did you? Did you go at them pretty
not
heavy,
too
did
cool
you?
to be friendly with them now.
Good. You grew up back in, as you mentioned, Peoria, Illinois.
Peoria.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Were you
Thank you.
influenced by movies when you were a kid?
Lash LaRue.
Lash LaRue?
Lash LaRue was my man.
Oh, yeah.
And he used to always fight and jump up at the end. Remember? He'd jump up and knock the cats out, him and Fuzzy Q.
I like Bob Steele.
Bob Steele?
Oh,
Bob
yeah.
Steele was in a movie once. We saw on television, man. I don't know if we was high or what, but it looked like... No, it looked like Bob Steele said to the dude that was fighting, looked like Bob Steele said, lighten up.
Yeah. Then did you play Cowboys and Indians?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That you
Not
were-
Indian so much. Didn't know. Sometimes my mouth don't work. I have to do that.
Yeah.
Carry it through. There's no need to stop in the middle and try to clean up. Just go right on with it.
You got up one night, we were talking, the last time you were on the show, I was interviewing somebody, and you just got up and went, hey, and sat
My
down.
mind back.
Yeah, you said you just had to clear
Yes.
everything out once in a while.
Yes, I do.
We don't have a bathroom.
How young were you when you first appeared in front of the public?
I think my first performance was like my uncle Dickie bought me a cowboy suit, right, with 2 guns and stuff, and I was in the front yard, and all the family was sitting on the porch, and there was some dog poo-poo in the yard, and I slipped and fell in it.
Big screen,
And
huh?
they started laughing, so I got up and fell in it again.
First rule of comedy. If you're young comedians, that's your first rule of comedy. The old dog poo-poo fall. Then you can
It's in the books now.
It's in the books. It's dog poo-poo take number 1. I think there's 2 or 3 takes. Then you progress on from there.
When was your first time?
I was in a school play and did something silly, said something, and everybody laughed. All of a sudden, you find that by doing something, usually with sounds.
Yeah.
When you're a kid, you do crazy sounds or voices, and you find out you can get people to laugh.
You can get hooked.
Can you do a sound for us? Do a
Well,
sound.
I hate to do the ones that get the biggest laugh. We did all kinds of terrible things in school, you know, but you find out very early that you can get reaction, and so you do it, that's all.
Yes.
So, we'll take a break here, sell something. Have you seen The Exorcist? Apparently you have. Good, it's nice to know you enjoyed it. We'll be right. I thought you didn't like it for a moment. Here's a word from McDonald's, and nobody explained it to me like that. Right? Yes, thank you. William Peter Blatty is with us tonight, who is the author, also the producer of the motion picture The Exorcist, and the book, as you know, was on the bestseller list for over a year. And those of you who've seen the motion picture, a lot of things have been said about the film. Practically every place you go now, if you're at a cocktail party or in a home, that picture comes up, and you get violent reactions on both sides. Some people think it was a great picture. Some critics thought it was not. Well, I'll tell you one thing. When you see the picture, it leaves an impact on you when you walk out of the theater. You have known you've seen something. Would you welcome the author and producer, William Peter Blatty?
Good to see you again, Fernando.
Yes.
Bill, I wish I could ask you one question that you probably have not been asked since that picture came out, but we screened it one night, and about 10 people watched the movie, because people told us before you see it, they said, don't see the picture alone. They said, see it with people. And I think it's better to see it with people because you get divergent reactions to the picture.
Yeah, I know. There is one should not see the film alone, which is probably part of the problem with some of the negative reviews. You know, you cannot, reviewers insist upon sitting alone in a cold screening room. And there is a chemistry. I mean, the film is an assault upon the nervous system.
It is that.
And the concentration of other bodies around you and other brains around you is a part of the effect or the impact of the film.
Yeah, it's like watching a picture in a drive-in sometimes where you don't have the reaction with the other people. You're hearing it all by yourself.
Well, a comedy. I mean, you can't see a comedy in a drive-in.
It's murderous.
It's insane.
Did you think the picture was going to get this kind of reaction? Now, as I said, some of the critics in the East didn't care for the picture. Many other reviewers of fine credentials thought it was one of the year's 10 best pictures. There seems to get that kind of a violent reaction. But I suppose that's true in this kind of a picture, or anything that is shocking and has a controversial theme about it.
Well, I wouldn't be so benign with some of the reviewers who were negative. I mean, I think Pauline Kael, for example, needs an enema. I mean,
No, I did not read her review. Did she...
I mean, her reviews always are so full of personal poison attacks upon the makers of films. I mean, what do you say about a woman who thinks that Psycho was a playful film, or that the French Connection was a fascist film? I mean, this is a serious study for a psychiatrist, I think. Pauline Kael.
I've asked excuse me for interrupting, but I've asked people who saw the picture and said they didn't, and they said, well, I said, did you read the book? And they said, yes. I said, well, that's what the picture is, really.
That's right.
You followed the book very faithfully, and the book was horrifying, and it's shocking, and it assaults your senses. And I assume that when you went to make the picture, that's what you went to do, that's what the story is about.
The intent is to move the viewer. This is based upon what we believe is an actual case. And in addition to having a passionate impact upon you, it's supposed to tell you something. As you know, there are people who have been fainting in the theater, between 5 and 10 every performance. And you wonder, is that too much? Well, when Aeschylus's Orestes was first presented before an ancient Greek audience, it's reported that grown men fainted. And, of course, you wonder, really, only a psychiatrist is competent to comment on why we get this reaction. But I hope that it's because that the viewer is, some viewers are frightened, but it's touching a nerve. And I wonder how often that nerve is the realization that the horror on that screen, that demon, is the ultimate father to, the ultimate blood relation to, and the ultimate destiny of cheating your brother and calling it business.
Yeah.
I think that's what it comes down to. But I'm happy about it. We have the smelling salts handy all the time, and I'm sorry that some people are made uncomfortable for it, but I'm glad because it's done what it's supposed to do.
It is a shocker, but I have found the interesting thing about it, as you say, when you see it with a group of people, you find out that people are affected by different things. Where some people will see a particular scene that might be physically unpleasant, that doesn't bother some people, but the language of the young girl, which she uses, upsets them tremendously.
Well, it should have.
They see different things. It is upsetting, but grown people will have different reactions to what they see as horrifying or obscene.
I myself, excuse me.
I'm sorry, did the picture have any effect in the girl after? Is the girl all right?
The girl was so psychologically sturdy to begin with.
She's okay.
Oh, she's tremendous.
I think that was, I don't know how that
because
started.
You see, when I read that book before he went into the prints. Noel Marshall gave it to me.
Oh, yes.
With your typewriter.
Yes.
And it was a thing like this. And I said, where are they going to get this girl to play this? And what is going to happen to the girl in the process of getting involved in this thing?
Fernando, she giggled after every take. I mean, the whole procedure was silly to her.
Oh, really?
And you know what it is. You're surrounded by 80 technicians like Cape Canaveral.
Right.
Yeah, people forget that. I almost, watching the picture sometime, had to say, no, wait a minute. I know that there are 80 people standing around, and the prop men are doing these things to get my own mind away from what was going on, almost to bring it back to reality.
I thought it was a very religious film myself.
A lot of people have said that there is a...
The Catholic News, which is the official archdiocesan newspaper for New York City, called it a very deeply spiritual film, as a matter of fact.
They're calling it actually a fight between, if you believe in this fight between Satan and God, right?
That's what bugged Pauline Kael. She said this is the greatest recruiting poster for organized religion since Going My Way. And, that irritates the hell out of her. I really think Miss Kael has a speech impediment, namely her brain, which, if I've located its position correctly, the enema should solve.
I see.
I mean, she belongs. I want to do a number on it. I mean, these people say whatever they want about us, and we never have any recourse or rebuttal.
You bet. She didn't like Citizen Kane either,
Well,
she didn't like Citizen Kane?
She
didn't like Citizen Kane. He wrote the whole book about it.
She loved it.
No.
She is part, excuse me, she's part of a small set of elitist reviewers in New York who are so trapped inside the squirrel cage of their egos that their view of the objective world of reality outside is necessarily very blurred. Every pronouncement that they make is a papal bull. I have very little...
Well, it certainly is not disturbing the number of people who are going to see the motion picture.
Great.
I read in the paper the other day that, I don't know whether it's true, it almost sounded like a publicity item that the studio would put out, that people were lined up at 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning to see a 10:30 screening and couldn't get in and got angry, and there was almost a riot.
There were Harry Francis, the manager of the National Theater, showed up early in the morning to prepare for the 10:30 a.m. show this Saturday morning, and he found between 4,000 and 5,000 young people camped out. They'd done that Rose Bowl number.
When you say young people, how old? Because I did say something on the other night on this show that I don't think young children, and I tried to delineate what I meant. I'm talking about children under 15 or younger. I think it might be a little too powerful for them, and it could be have a great effect on a child that, might have a few problems to begin with their tensions.
An equally great problem is the neurotics among the adults who are going to see it. I mean, that has just as terrible effect upon them.
Didn't bother me.
She could straighten you out. You think it's a straight film. You saw it as a musical. What do you know? Let me ask you this, Bill. Let me take this break here first, and we'll come right back after this word of interest. Talking with Bill Blatty about The Exorcist. The rites of exorcism, as such. Obviously, you researched this because I read from, as you said, from the Catholic News, said that obviously this was carefully researched, and there are times when this has happened, these type of cases.
Well, yes,
have there not?
The
so-called possession by
a case in 1949 in Mount Rainier, Maryland, suggested the novel, as a matter of fact, and the paranormal phenomena in the film occurred in that case, although I stress that there were no murders, no deaths.
Right.
The characters were not at all similar. That's all a work of fiction. Only the symptomology of possession and the paranormal phenomena come from that case and some others, although this is the only one that I know of that personally that, I think is authentic. There has recently now been, I just heard in July of this year in San Francisco, a case where a whole family was obsessed and the rite of exorcism was performed. I think there's a UPI story on that breaking on Sunday, as a matter of fact.
Is this still a rite that is performed?
Well, yes. It is in the Roman ritual of exorcism in Asia and in various other societies. It's a common occurrence. But I stress for the fear that there will be so many people who possibly are a little neurotic who are going to suddenly decide that they are possessed, that it is so rare. I know of one absolutely authentic case in this century. And there, to my knowledge, in this century, only 3 exorcisms have been performed in the United States. So it's nothing to get all excited. I brought, yes,
successfully?
In fact, successfully, yes. I did bring along a...
now what's this piece of tape we have?
A piece of tape, which the quality is very bad because it was, of course, not done professionally. A portion of an exorcism performed in Rome about 5 years ago by a Monsignor Novaris.
Now, this is not a study. I mean, this is not actors or anything. This
No. This is an actual. The exorcism took several months.
Was this for a person? Because they also do it for buildings, I understand, or they can exercise spirits.
Exorcism of a place. But this was of a person. I'll talk about the person after you've heard it because I think you'll be a little startled. As I say, I know nothing else about the case except the 4 personalities are manifested. It's just for the sound of the possessed.
All right, let's listen to the audio tape. You will hear the priest and...
Yes, you'll hear the priest. That's the
That's
I don't know.
The worst case of croup I've ever heard in my life. That's what I said, incidentally, when we were reviewing your film, when the little girl was having these violent physical gyrations just to break the tension because everybody in the room was so shocked. I said, bad case of croup. And everybody kind of got back to normal. Now, that guttural moaning sound.
That is the possessed, and I don't know what... I know of one allegedly paranormal phenomenon in that case, in which there supposedly were many. An imprint of a demonic visage on the wall suddenly appeared.
Was this a man?
This is a 15-year-old boy, which is... I find a little bit chilling, but I really don't know anything else about it except in cases of possession, and we must understand that 95% of the time or more we're dealing with a mental disturbance. Nevertheless, the sound is somewhat like
Richard?
that.
Why does the devil possess, like, young people? Why would...
Well, I know, although it's been widely interpreted as being Satan himself, who is the possessing entity in my novel and in the film, I've never conceived of it that way. It's a demon. It's a disembodied, malevolent intelligence. Call it a devil, if you wish, or a demon. As to why, who knows? But fictionally, in the film, the target of the possession is not the little girl. It's the Jesuit psychiatrist.
The priest at the end, yes.
Yeah, who has rejected his own humanity, and it's
possessed by the devil at the end, right? Or takes the...
Yeah, at the end, by the way, the ending is so widely misinterpreted. I know it's obscure, a bit obscure in the novel, but in film I think it's so graphic, yet people appear in such a state of shock. They're not seeing, they're not hearing. 50% of the people that I talk to think the film is a downer because the demon wins at the end. They think the demon is taking the psychiatrist out the window. Not at all.
Bill, I thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you, John.
An exciting picture, but don't go if you're real young.
I agree.
Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Richard.
Thank you, Johnny.
Thank you, Robyn. Good night. I'm humbled by that applause.